A story of extraordinary heroism from a massive snowstorm that slammed Buffalo, New York a year ago on Christmas Eve. A woman noticed a man struggling in the blizzard outside her window and brought the stranger to safety inside. That was just the beginning. Our lead national correspondent, David Begnaud, traveled to Buffalo to meet the woman and learned how her life-saving acts of kindness created lasting connections.
This is the first time that Yvonne White is going to see the home where her brother was treated like family.
Hi! How are you?
By a woman who rescued him.
Put it in perspective. You saved his life. You saved another human being's life.
During the blizzard of December 2022 in Buffalo, New York, Sha'kyra Aughtry took action when a lot of other people would have been a lot less willing.
What you did was just beautiful. Just beautiful.
I just did.
Yeah, but you know, he made him comfortable.
Yes.
He felt the love.
He was at my door banging.
When I woke up, I heard, help, help.
It was Christmas Eve a year ago. Sha'kyra looked out her window and saw that man struggling in the snow.
He keeps screaming, help, I don't know what to do. I feel so terrible.
It was 4 degrees outside.
He can't even walk, like the wind is so bad.
The wind was gusting 53 miles per hour. He had no gloves on, looked lost, and in pain. Sha'kyra and her boyfriend, Trent Alls Jr., took him in. 65-year-old Joey White has the mental capacity of a 10-year-old child, according to his sister. He lived in this group home at the time. It's just a few blocks away from Sha'kyra's home. That morning, Joey left home, headed for a movie theater where he had worked as a custodian for more than 40 years. It's unclear how long he had lingered in the cold.
He was so frozen. His clothing was completely froze.
What were his fingers like?
They were it was balled up with the bag in his hand. I told him, I walked him through, I said, I have to cut the bag because the bag was froze. He had ice, literally ice balls around his hand.
After bandaging his severely frostbitten hands, Sha'kyra called 911 again and again, but the weather conditions made it impossible for first responders to reach them.
I was waiting for the National Guards, and I still was waiting for 911, paramedics, fire. I was waiting for anybody, and nobody ever came.
As the hours passed, the snow just kept piling up. So Joey spent Christmas with Sha'kyra, Trent, and their kids. She did his laundry, fed him, even played movies for him.
We got to get some help.
All the while, his hands were literally changing color, and the pain was becoming unbearable.
I was thinking, if there's going to take them this long to come and get him, and he's alive, how long is it going to take him to come and get a dead body if he was to pass? I couldn't wrap my head around, I just couldn't do it. This young man's fingers is going to fall off.
On Christmas night, she turned to social media, panicking.
I had to use these to cut the ring off of his finger. I'm not no surgeon. I'm right here, Joe.
About 36 hours after their ordeal began,
I thank these men for helping.
2 Good Samaritans answered her plea.
Yeah, we all love you. We right here with you. You hear me? Because what you tell me, I'm your friend, right? We're friends, right? We're friends forever.
And drove them to the hospital.
When I got in the truck, he told me he was scared, and I said, I'm scared too. I'm scared too, Joey. And I said, you know, we got help. We're going to go. The doctors are going to take care of you. And then when he told me he loved me, I knew he really felt safe. This man could have died. 64 years old, could have died outside. I wasn't letting that happen on my watch, and he wasn't going to die in front of my kids.
What do you think the takeaway is?
I feel that especially nowadays, the way our country is, everything is just, you know, the weather is terrible, this is terrible. And then to see the compassion and the love with 2 strangers is just amazing. So you tell me where the connection is. It's here. It's not here.
Bingo.
It's here.
We got him to the emergency room.
In the spirit of that first Christmas, more than 2,000 years ago, Sha'kyra Aughtry made room in her home and in her heart for that stranger in need.
I'm right here.
When you think back on it all, what makes you emotional?
I knew he needed help. And I just kept thinking about what if it was my family member Christmas wasn't even about gifts, about my kids. It wasn't. It was literally him. Christmas was him. He was a very good Christmas gift, and now for the rest of my life, I will remember him.
What would you say to people watching this who will encounter something down the road?
People should be kind, be loving.
We'll take a lesson from you. So thank you.
You're welcome.
I love that lady. So here is the update a year later. Joey White lost almost all of his fingers. There's really only a half a thumb left. Sha'kyra says he's lost all of his independence because he doesn't have prosthetics yet. But the state assures us that Joey is going to get prosthetics this year. Now, as for Sha'kyra, she visits him regularly. I mean, all the time. He called her recently and said, "Sha'kyra, I want some Chinese food." And so she brought it to him. She says Joey calls her all the time. They have a bond that is truly special. As for her, New York's governor honored her for her heroic actions. Her family was surprised with a trip to Disney. The NFL gave them tickets to the Super Bowl. And most recently, she bought a home. There was a lot of money donated to Sha'kyra and her partner, Trent, after what they did for Joey White.
We always say this, David, and you highlight this in your story so well. Good things happen to people who do good things.
That's
And she wasn't looking for any of those
That's
accolades,
right. That's
right?
right.
She just did it out of the goodness of her heart.
Yeah, it's oftentimes, I mean, she was probably thinking safety, but safety for him and me and my family. Welcoming someone into your home is really special.
Yeah.
You never know. So
I'm sure they'll be friends
kudos
for
to
life
her.
now.
Absolutely.
Exactly. David, thank you very much, my friend. Happy New Year. We'll look for your
Happy New
stories
Year.
again in 2024.